Today I'm going to show you my version of an Assam Laksa, and this one actually is about 251 calories, when the outside versions can have maybe 300 to 400 calories depending on the type of noodle they use. Assam Laksa is actually quite healthy in general because it has mackerel in it, and mackerel is great for the brain, the cardiovascular system, and it's also really good for the skin. I'm going to start by making a spice paste first. Now what we want to do is put in some fresh red chilies, some dried chilies, some belacan, dried belacan, red onion, and then finally some lemongrass. Now you can just whiz that up until it becomes a fine paste. If the paste is a bit chunky, you can add in a little bit of oil, and that means you'll reduce the oil later when you're frying it up. You want your paste to look a bit like this, and then you're ready to fry it up. First, heat up some oil in the pan. If you added some oil into your spice paste, then you need less to actually heat it up. Once the pan is hot, you'll just want to add in your spice paste and cook it till it's fragrant. This spice paste is what gives your food a wonderful aroma, and it adds a lot of depth of flavor to your soup. Once your spice paste has darkened slightly and is very fragrant, then you're good to go. Just take it off the heat and you can use it later. Now that we have our spice paste ready, we want to put our stock on to boil. Now I made this stock earlier by boiling some of my mackerel just in plain water and then straining it. It's as simple as that, but if you don't have the time to do that, then you can actually just buy the fresh stock cubes from the store and put that in as well. It's a quicker way to make your broth. I'm going to boil this with some daun kusum, or it's also known as polygonum leaves. Those are the laksa leaves, and that's what gives the broth its flavor. And I'll let that come to a boil. And now I'm going to pick the flesh off of the mackerel that I cooked earlier in the stock. I choose to work with mackerel because it's actually a very healthy fish. It's very high in omega-3 fatty acids as well. What you want to do is to have your mackerel flaked pretty finely. That will add more depth of flavor as it breaks down in your broth. Once you've flaked the mackerel, you can just add that into the pot. Once you've put the mackerel in the broth, then you're going to leave that to boil for about 10 minutes. The broth has now been simmering for about 10 minutes, and now it's time to add in the spice paste as well as all the other ingredients. And then you want to add in the special ingredient, asam jawa, tamarind. You can do this to your liking. Some people like it more sour, and some people like it with just a little tang. So it's all up to you. Now to balance out the flavor, you'll want to add in just a little bit of brown sugar, some salt, and then a little bit of fish sauce. And then you can leave this to simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes until you're ready for the next stage. This has now been simmering for about 10 minutes, and once it's to your liking taste-wise, then you can go ahead and plate up. Now I'm using bihun instead of using the traditional laksa noodles because that's also lower in calories because they're cut a lot finer, and that means you eat a lot less overall. Now the beauty of the Assam Laksa is that it's got a wonderful variety of garnishes, and all these garnishes add those little pops of flavor in your mouth. So first we're going to start with a bit of romaine lettuce on the top, a few mint leaves, then you have some cucumber that will give you a bit of a refreshing flavor, some pineapple for sweetness, and some bunga kantan. This is also known as the ginger torch flower. I just love the way it smells. Then you'll add a few more of the laksa leaves, some red onion for that little bite, and then some chili padi on the top just to give it that spice kick. And there you go, at 251 calories, and Assam Laksa you can enjoy at home. And as I stated before, if you were to have this dish outside, it would be about 300 to 400 calories depending on what they put in it and what noodles they used. But our version is only at 251 calories. If you'd like more healthy options, then you can visit my website at Food Matters.